Hi everyone, and welcome to Billy Fitzgerald Golf. And today I want to focus on the driver. In order to be a good player, you've got to get the ball off the tee. So let's talk about a few things in the setup that's different about the driver than any other shot. Well, the first case scenario is that it's on a tee. So we're going to talk about tee height first and why it matters. Now, with the driver, you want to hit the ball on the upswing. And you can see how deep the face is on this club, okay? So if we want to hit it on the upswing, this driver, when it's moving up and it's hitting it, trying to hit it on the upswing, I've got to have this ball teed high enough so that the driver can basically get underneath and launch the ball forward, out, and up. We want a high launch with low spin to get maximum distance out of these drivers. And so what I say is if you can see the practice here, that's the equator of the golf ball. You want to match it up with the crown of the club face or of the driver. So when you hit it on the upswing, we can get the sweet spot, which is probably a little bit above center on this driver. So here I've got two golf balls that you can see just as a reference point. We know how you want to hit the driver. You want to hit it on the upswing. So if it's teed too low, and I try to hit up into this golf ball, I'm going to miss the sweet spot by a good 2 or 3 inches. The golf ball is only going to hit basically on the bottom of this club, and I'm not going to get nearly the reaction and the speed and the spring out of this face as I would if I hit it up here. So if you've ever played with someone that tees it real low, typically it's a swing flaw, and that's okay for them because they have to tee it low, or they just go right underneath it because they're hitting down too much. And if I hit down into this tee ball that's teed up like this, you can see it's gonna leave a mark on the top of my driver, and the ball is just gonna go straight up in the air. So if someone's teeing it down, it's for a reason. It's their swing path. It's not necessarily what you want to do. So again, if I were trying to hit this ball and I would try to hit it on the upswing, again, I would miss it and it'd be way too low. So we'll get that out of here. So this is more like where we want to tee the golf ball. You can see it's about, the equator of the ball is about on the top edge of the crown. So when I come into impact, I can hit it on the upswing a little bit more. Okay, so we've got tee position down. Now let's talk about ball position. Again, because I want to hit it on the upswing, this ball cannot be on the back of my stance. Again, the swing is a tilted circle. So from the center, when I start back, it starts to go up and then it comes back down and I hit center again. Then as it moves forward, see, it starts to gradually go up the swing arc again. So that's why I want the ball position forward in my stance. So typically for right-handers, typically off my left heel. Okay, so off my left heel. So a good way or easy way to do this is just to start with your feet together, with the ball in between the middle of your toes, and take one step back, and then you can kind of get situated here. So the ball position is way forward. It's off your front heel. It's not off the middle. Again, off your heel, so we can hit it on the upswing. Now, with that being said, if we want to launch this ball in the air, we have to have enough tilt. So what I mean by tilt is, some of us, if we have the ball position, if we're used to the ball position being in the middle, and we start to go forward sometimes, and we're going to look at this from down the line as well. If the ball's up there, sometimes we do this and get up to the golf ball this way. So you can see what it's done. You can't really see it from here. We'll do it down the line, but it's closed my shoulders off. I've actually opened my shoulders way up to the target, and I'm actually starting to feel like I'm tilting down. So we want to feel like we hit it from the inside on an upward motion. So to get that, and to get that feeling in that proper setup position, what I'd have you do is, again, we're going to start with the correct ball position. Get your grip, pull the club up here, and you're going to tilt this way and even a little bit back. If anything, if you're going to err with this, I'd have you tilt here and then even a little bit back, so I feel like my right side is really underneath my left. My right shoulder, right hip is underneath my left side, so I have the best chance of hitting it on the upswing. So now we're going to take a look at a down the line view of, again, the setup position, so you have a clear understanding of what we're trying to do with the driver, and some swing tips to help you get that ball in the fairway, into play, and on your way towards the green. Okay, so part two, now we're down the line. So when you set up to this driver, I'm going to show you what I see a lot, which is not ideal for hitting a driver. Again, we've established that the ball is forward in our stance, and I think that pretty much everyone knows that. It's forward in our stance, it's off our heel. Now how we get there can get a little complicated. So if I put the ball off my heel, what I wouldn't want you to do is feel like you get all the way up there by just leaning in and getting your chest way up and over into the golf ball. See, if I've got a regular shot or regular iron that this way, and I just simply move my ball position up, and then I just go ahead and let the head chase up to the ball, all of a sudden now I start to get open to the target, and my right hip, right shoulder start to move into the ball, when that's actually the exact opposite of what we want to do. So when you tilt, if I get my grip here, ball position is just left to center, and I get up here, I want to feel like I tilt, and even for most people, I would say even feel like you go underneath a little bit. So what that does is almost presets my trail shoulder, my trail hip kind of tilting under and back a little bit. Because see, I want to swing, and when I move, I need to feel like my trail shoulder and trail hip get out of the way, because this is the longest club in my bag. It's got to have enough room to swing back down from the inside and hit it. So if I had to give you one thing or one picture to think about with the driver, is that we're always moving away from the ball. So after I get set up, and after I get into this position where I feel like I'm tilted and I feel like I'm underneath, when I swing back, I need to feel that my right hip, right shoulder, or trail hip, trail shoulder is moving away from the golf ball, not into. Again, away from the ball. And then even on the way down, I feel like the only thing that's moving into the ball or getting closer to the ball is my driver, is the head of my driver. So again, I wouldn't want to feel like I move into it this way. I wouldn't want to feel, and this is probably the biggest one, once we get up into the transition point, because we're trying to hit it really hard, because a lot of times with the driver, we're just trying to hit it as far as we can. We don't have a number. And so sometimes it melts our brain a little bit, and we just hit it as hard as we can. In an effort to do that, I know how this feels. This feels really strong, where you feel like your shoulder and your hip, everything moves into the golf ball. The problem is there's not enough room for this driver to move into the ball, and so we end up coming either over the top, or you feel like we're coming way under the plane inside, then we got to flip the face. So what I'd have you do is feel like you've got some slow motion swings, and swing back where I feel everything move back away from it. And then as I swing back down, I feel like the face of the club is moving more into the golf ball, not my whole body. Now, if my body's going to do anything from here, I feel like I sit back and let the face of the club run into the ball. So let's hit a couple and start to feel how I feel like I get all the way back here and not launch my body into the ball, but if anything, I sit back and let the face of the club run into the ball. So just hit one slow here. So again, we get ready to go, and you're going to feel how you get a nice turn, you get away from the ball, and if anything, I'm going to sit back and away from it and let the face of the club run into the ball a little bit more. Okay, we'll do that one more time. So again, I'm going to feel like my hip and my shoulder move away from the ball, and if anything, I sit away from the ball, not launching myself into the golf ball. So now when I swing down and I sit back, see, the handle can work down and the face can work out into the golf ball, instead of my hands and everything moving into the golf ball. I need that space to save it for the head of the golf club. So get ready to go again. We're going to turn back away from it and sit back away from it now. Okay, so a couple drills to help you with this, to get this feeling. One is back to the target. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up, Then we're going to go back to the target. Now my heel's got to stay on the ground. The club is going to go in the same mark that it's always going, so it's going to feel like it's more straight back and then into the ball. I'm going to keep my heel right on the ground. And the ball goes pretty straight because, again, I'm not launching my whole body into the golf ball. Okay, once we hit a couple there, then we can feel left foot, right foot back. So again, left foot, right foot back. Feel like I get my heel on the ground. Now here, I can feel my hip get out of the way, and then I can even feel that left hip push out of the way just a little bit more, so I get the feeling what it's like when I put my stance in regular. Okay, good. Then we'll finally hit one more. And now this one, we're gonna hit one normal. Again, my trail side, everything's gonna get away from the ball. Then if anything, I'm gonna feel like I sit back and work my left hip away from the ball. So again, it keeps my right side from moving all the way up and into the ball. So again, with the driver, watch your ball position, watch your setup. Make sure that we've got the right tilt and we feel like we're underneath the golf ball a little bit more. And so we're trying to move, again, away from the ball, so the head of the club can go out into the ball. My hands start to work to the inside. So whether you swing up and your hips thrust into the ball, or you swing up and your shoulders move at the ball, we don't want anything going at the ball besides the club moving down and the face working back out towards the ball. There's not enough room for all that to fit into the golf ball. So I know this is going to help your driver. Use these drills to help you give the feeling of how much room there is and how much space you have to swing down. I know you're going to hit more fairways. You're going to set yourself up better, hit more greens. That score is going to come down in a hurry. Like and subscribe to my channel, Billy Fitzgerald Golf. Want to take a live lesson from me, or you have a question? Visit me at billyfitzgeraldgolf.com. And thanks for watching.